Hello everybody, how you doing? This is Glenda with Shaking Hands Art. Yeah, shaking. With Fralins and Friends. I've had a problem with them shaking today, or else I'm just klutzy. I've been dropping everything. Pray I don't drop. We're going to work on the moon Titan tonight. And I'm going to figure it's going to take a couple of days. Not that it has to, but I want to be able to let you know the facts I've found out and also have some personal thoughts and some of your personal thoughts. So, okay, the only thing I don't understand is how did they get all these facts? Maybe they have sent a probe to Saturn, I don't know, or to Saturn's moons. I know they know stuff, I just don't know how they know it. But I'm not a NASA scientist. So anyway, I'm going to get started, and we'll do facts later. I did a gray background. You know, I like us to see things. But okay, there is a haze. Now, one picture it showed it almost like a I don't know, it was very pale blue. The one I saw almost, but I'm sure it's gaseous of some kind. The atmosphere is made up of mostly of nitrogen, or has a large amount of nitrogen like it does here on Earth. I didn't see anything about oxygen or anything like that, but could it support life? Well, this is something that only if it's living down underneath the surface somewhere, it would have to be some other type of life than what we know, because it is a negative 200 and something Fahrenheit, or a negative 100 and something Celsius. I didn't write them all down, but it's enough to know that it would be very hard to live in that climate for anything resembling human or animal that we know of. But there's some funny facts about some stuff here on Earth I might share later too. But I made a boo-boo. See, that's something I'm going to have to clean up or paint over. Titan is Saturn's very largest moon, and it's the second largest moon in our solar system. It is bigger than Mercury. Titan is bigger than Mercury. It has large rivers, oceans, seas of methane. And if anything could live in that, it would have to be deep, because the surface would be just totally frozen. It's that cold. So I don't know if they sent a probe in there and found out all that stuff, but it is interesting. It is interesting. So I am going to paint a lot of blue because of the methane. I don't know what color methane probably would show up, but now when I look at pictures, it's kind of more like what I painted the moon, like a darker gray and a lighter gray. But I thought, well, because we are talking about something that actually has liquid somewhere underneath all the surface, that I would go ahead and paint it. I don't know exactly how it looks, but I'm just going to go ahead and put some of that in here. I don't know how the land masses work. So I'm just going to have to figure, you know, it's probably not going to be, you know, correct as far as like if it's divided into continents or anything like that, land masses. Now, Titan was discovered by somebody back in the 1500s. Like I said, I'm sure it does not look like this for real, but just for reference sake, this is what I'm doing. Because it's there. You know, I don't know what, I mean, like it's got this thick haze to look through, and so, I don't know. But in that one picture that I saw, where it did show the liquid methane, it did look very blue. So that's, I guess, what I'm going by. And so it is very large for a moon, but Saturn is a large planet. It has a lot of rings and it has a lot of moons. But there is a... I might do that later when I come back in and kind of work on this some more. Yes, I'm making it look like land and water. And that's probably not so inaccurate, because there must, you know, if it's got seas and if it's got rivers and stuff, they're all methane, and it'd have to be some completely different kind of creature to live in that, even though it would have to live deep, because, I mean, it's going to be frozen. But it also indicates that there's got to be some solid land masses of some kind. Now, I don't know what the land looks like. It could be, I don't know if it's rocky. I don't know if it's, I don't know how solid it is. You know, I mean, some places are more like walking through dust or something, maybe. I don't know. I mean, here we have, you know, we have sand and we have all kinds of things. I don't know what they have there. Or what they have. I don't know what is on this planet other than what I read. And like I said, unless they've sent a probe, which they've probed a bunch of stuff, I don't know how they know the temperatures and things unless they have some other thing to go by. But I want to distinguish this from the gray out here, too. I may get done with this tonight. I didn't expect to. But, I don't... Am I doing this wrong to make it look this way? I don't know. Well, I know a lot of this would be too cold for any Earth life form to live in. But let's go with maybe a canyon or something here. This is my, I mean, I'm just doing just whatever. Some abstract ideas of what Titan might look like. Because the pictures that you look at in the deal, well, either they don't show the surface at all because of the haze that's around it, and some of them show just kind of a gray, and others show this kind of blue haze. I just really don't know. I don't know at all. So I'm just doing this. But I want to put this stuff in here so that we know, at least from what we've heard, it's probably not like this at all, but there must be something there. Not living, but, you know, craters and you know, frozen masses. If it's got an atmosphere, you know, it may not be completely like ours. I mean, it talked about it's got a lot of nitrogen like ours does. Well, it doesn't say anything about, I'd have to look more facts up to see if it's got any oxygen. You get my drift on it. But you know, I can be more realistic if you want me to, because this is not what we see when we look out. And if we were to look through through a telescope, a big telescope, and look at it, this isn't what we would see. We would see a big ball. That's all we would see, or a little one from here. But I think it's fun to actually take into account what would be there. I mean, they did, well, that's not has anything to do with this, but we know it doesn't support life. Not, at least the only kind of life it could possibly support would be something deep, and it would have to survive off of something completely different, because oxygen doesn't exist in methane. It's toxic to us. Oh. So I don't know what kind of what would live there. I don't know, if anything. I would probably, you know, just on knowing what I know about the life here, I'd probably say that there isn't anything could live there. But that's just me. What do I know? So I love you. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think, and we'll get something else going tomorrow.